never break your pride. Don't believe what they tell you. They try to sell you. When dreams died, plans fell through. They can never break your pride. They can never take your pride.
Welcome to The Topics, and I'm Adrian Stewart. With me today is Jay Bernard and
Hello.
Tom Christopher. So we have very interesting topics today, 7 of which, and the first being the Truth Commission report. Then we move on to talk about the European study trip, as well as protesting policemen. We also touch on the price of beauty, as well as below average results in schools. And then we close up with Gangnam Dangers and the rice pledging scheme. Okay, let's dive down into our first topic, the Truth Commission report. The report that just came out after 2 years of studying. This report was commissioned by the previous government, and the report finally came out, I think 200 pages long, spending 100 million baht. And a lot of people were taken aback by the report because maybe it was too much of the truth, or maybe it was nothing. They talked about men in black. This is the first report that actually mentioned there were men in black involved in the protests. They talked about the army actually using live bullets, live ammunition, and they also talked about how the red shirts didn't do enough to control the protesters. What do you think, Tom?
Well, to all of our expat friends out there, you know, let's kind of give a little historical background. So this report was commissioned by the EP7 government. It was so designed to bring reconciliation, or to tell the truth.
What was
so
it
that
called? The
people
Truth Commission for
reconciliation.
whatever,
Yeah. The report just did come out. To be on this government side, when Kun Yingluck came into power, everybody thought that she would scrap this Truth Commission.
She supports the findings.
Yeah.
Actually, no.
And
Actually,
she actually kept the guy.
she actually scrapped a lot of other commissions, and she kept this
She
one.
kept this one, right?
Yeah,
so
she
it
kept this one.
showcases that. I think everybody wants to find the truth.
And the opposite was also saying he was waiting for the report from this guy. So a lot of people put weight on this report.
Yeah. Kun Kanit, you know, is a very good guy. He's been around for a very, very long time. But as in anything, you know, what is my reaction to this? I think it's a very Thai report, right? It doesn't actually tell you. It doesn't make a definitive statement as to what actually happened, who's at fault. It basically blames everybody. It kind of covers each and every spot.
Yeah.
It just doesn't really just tell you what the truth is.
Well, everyone is probably to blame, though. That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
But when
Well,
you-
the truth means different things to
I
different
agree.
people,
I agree.
right? So the per Thai MPs have come out now and said they are dismayed by this report, and they want a new commission to come out with
I
a
think
report.
everybody's sort of dismayed by this report because I think people actually wanted to find out what the truth is.
They were looking to hang someone. Basically, some people are looking to hang
I mean,
someone.
look at it. I mean, it was a terrible time in our history. I mean, I live downtown. I live in the area. I live very close to Lumpini, Bongai area.
You saw all the
I
shit.
can hear the sound of gunfire and grenades.
You called
going
me,
off,
actually.
echoing off my
Yeah.
house, where me and my young family was sleeping throughout the night for 3 or 4 nights. So
It was horrible,
Nothing,
yeah.
it was terrible, and nothing good was ever going to come out of this report because it was a terrible time. That okay, we need to know what happened, but it's probably just best forgotten about because I mean, dreadful time. Many people lost their lives. I mean, clearly, people were firing guns on both sides of the fence. When you play with live ammunition, people get killed. This is what happens, you know. Soldiers have the rights to defend themselves, you know.
Sure, definitely, yeah.
But you know, I think at the end of the day, you have a report that I think a lot of people were expecting. As you said, you know, I think people are looking to hang someone.
Yeah.
On this one, at the end of the day, it seems to be the only guy who has been hung is the dead guy, right? Which is Sedang.
Well, plus the other 91 or 92 people.
Well, no, meaning
I mean-
they sort of pinned the whole
They
sort
blamed
of,
it on
they blamed it.
this
You know,
guy
it's
who was
always
the
like the saying,
instigator.
right? Let's blame it on the dead guy because
Yeah.
obviously he can't defend himself, right?
Yeah.
Some of the things that I took out of this report was, look, I don't know who the men in black are. The only men in black I know is Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones. But obviously, from this report, it says that these men in black, so-called men in black, were trained by Sedang, right?
And facilitated by the red shirt guards.
Sure, okay.
And so on
Yeah.
and so
I
on.
mean, you can't. I mean, nobody can deny the existence of these men in black.
The
You can
Richard
see the video on-
but
you
the
can
whole
see the
point is,
videos
at
on
the end of the day,
YouTube.
the report doesn't actually tell you.
Yeah.
Right? It says it doesn't tell you who the men in black are.
yeah.
It doesn't pinpoint anybody. It just says, well, there seems to be these men in black guys, and since there's a dead guy that we can blame it on, we'll put it on him. Look, I'm not saying the report is bad or good. I'm just saying it doesn't tell me anything that I don't already know.
Yeah.
Right? The only thing that probably caught me by surprise was how much the report actually went in as to how the command and control decision by the Democrat government during that time was in disarray. Right? You had a group that actually should have controlled this thing. Obviously, you heard from a lot. There was no live ammunition used. There wasn't all of these things. Obviously, the Truth and Commission came out and says, no, that's not true. The Army did use live ammunition. I think the one that's most damaging to anyone was the fact of the death at the temple.
Yeah.
And that seems to be clear, that
Yeah.
those shots came from the government side. I think that one's going to actually be one that's going to be in the minds of everybody for a very long time. My only point with the Truth and Commission is this: what happens after this?
Right.
What do
so-
you do with it?
So
right?
what-
Are people going to be called into a courtroom, or is this just
no one's going to be, because otherwise how...
so it's
yeah, I mean-
200? So it's 200
I mean-
page of rubbish.
Yeah, well, I mean, it goes. I mean, if you're going to start pinning the blame on people and prosecuting them, and where do you start? How
which
far
side
back
will
do
Because
you
you
the
go?
report
The
doesn't tell you
Yeah.
that.
So
Yeah.
the
So
report,
it's
the report
100
actually
million
says-
baht
yeah.
of 200, was it 200 pages
pages, yeah.
of rubbish to me, because it doesn't do anything.
You can't handle the truth,
The-
man.
I am not sure.
You can't handle
no. I can. Obviously, whether it's this government, the last government, the Truth Commission, they can handle it. Because if you had this report,
Yeah.
your next step should be is to take all the appropriate actions. And if you said it's true, if you blame all
There
sides.
is no. I mean, there.
But see, they actually did it.
Yeah.
They actually pinned the blame on someone
Yeah.
that can't be tried.
Yeah.
So to me, this is becoming a very
Well,
tight
okay.
situation.
The report also mentioned and went back down and said that this conflict started during the Thaksin administration. The conflict
Well, if
started during
you read the
coup
report correctly, it
and
actually
everything
says that
else.
it started because of the coup. Right?
Well, the coup was one of the key
Yeah.
factors that actually
why was there a coup?
initiated this. Yeah, why was there
Well,
a
again,
coup?
but my whole
Because of
point is,
this
so what do you do? So now
satisfaction
do you bring the coup people into the
Well,
court?
this is it. I mean, if we're gonna start pinning the blame and prosecuting people, where do you?
Well,
where
I
do you
love
I mean, how
Kun
many-
Kanit. I love Kun
how many
Kanit. I
years
love
do you
Kun
wanna go
Kanit's, you know,
back,
sort
you
of.
know?
And I say this, right? I thought it was a very sort of immature statement, which was then Thaksin should just never come back. Stay out of politics forever.
He didn't say he should
He
stay
actually, no, he
stay out
actually
of
said that. He
politics.
says
Stay out
he
of
says the
politics.
guy should just never come
That
back.
was- that was-
live
he was
outside of
reflecting-
Thailand forever.
He was his own opinion,
What
not part of the
no,
report.
No, no,
Part of
no,
it
no,
was
no.
his own opinion.
Adrian, he asked the head of the commission, when he has an opinion like that, it's a statement. It's a fact.
Yeah.
You should make a statement of fact that's real. I think the guy had a very tough job. I'm not blaming the report. I'm not blaming him. I'm not blaming the group. I'm blaming the fact that I don't know what happens after this. So should every Thai person get one and then put it under their birdcage or what?
What happens is, you're going to have the current government commissioning another report that will hopefully blame someone.
No. It did blame
They're
someone.
not going to.
This-
They're not
this-
going to.
no, no,
Is
no,
there
no,
going to
no,
be?
it blames someone.
Is there going to be another report?
Yes,
I mean,
there
do we
is gonna
need
be
I
another
don't need
report?
another report.
Yeah.
I need an action to be taken.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Right? I need an
that's
action.
gonna
So
be the
if
report.
at the end of the day, right, if they want to put Kun Apisit, Kun Sutep, Kun Thaksin all in the same basket, look, if Jay is correct on this one and everybody's at fault, then let's take all of those at fault people and do something with them.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
The report also mentioned, highlighted one of the schemes that the government has put in place, which is the reconciliation scheme, where
Okay.
they were paying people to compensate them for the deaths during that event, and highlighted that as a bad move
Yeah.
during for.
Well,
for the
not
thing.
certainly not for the people who's being compensated.
Well, I mean, if you lost a sibling or
lost
you
a
lost
sibling,
your
you're
mum or
gonna
your
wanna be
dad, you might,
compensated.
you might want some help.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
You want some help, but you don't use money to try to cover this
Well,
up.
money is at the root of this whole thing anyway, so why not try and solve it with money? I mean, he tried to kill people, he couldn't kill enough of them, so let's
Who's
just throw
trying to
money
kill
at them.
people?
Look, the report came out very clearly. Like it was handled badly.
Yeah.
Yes.
In any regards, whether it was the red, the yellow, the green, the purple. I mean, I can go on a rainbow color of people who screwed up on this one, right? But okay, so that's what the report says.
And
there
what
was a
will we
massive.
learn? And what will we
but-
learn from this report?
No, what will we do? We've learned. We've learned that we screwed it up. Everybody at every level screwed it up. My whole point is, what do you do to take an
We
action?
do nothing. We do nothing.
But that's the problem.
Yeah, it's Thailand,
That's a
man.
problem.
We
That's
do
a problem,
nothing.
man.
We do nothing.
You know?
Why? I mean,
So why have a
because
report? Why
we
have a
can't
report at
because-
all?
Yeah, because the truth. Okay, the truth is out there, but it's okay, there's the truth, and we're going to blame it on the dead guy. Yeah, he was involved. He probably did organize the Men in Black. People were killed.
The Army did
Done.
really use live
Done.
ammunition
Yeah,
when they
done.
said they didn't.
Well,
they shot him, you know.
I mean, come on. I mean,
Which at the end of the day is,
we're going to do it again in the next 5 or 10
the
years.
report has to have some teeth. What they should recommend it is not. So they basically wrote a book report.
Okay, so no recommendations at the end.
No
of it.
recommendation.
Okay, you know, just like we can't do anything with this report, we've also got to stop right now because we're out of time. All right, so
Well,
as
for this break, anyway.
Yeah, for this break. So see you at the next break.
They can never break your pride.